Hello, this is Sierra and welcome to another video. Today we're doing, we're starting a new book. You can probably tell from title and thumbnail. We are on the first chapter of Hermitcraft, Mayhem. And yeah, if you haven't read Hermitcraft Freedom, finale of that, it has a tease for what's coming. And yeah, gotta figure all of that stuff out. Yeah. I've gotten a good head start on this book, so I can technically start it and then continue writing as I go. But now, there are captions available if you are interested in reading those, reading as you watch or whatever. You can do whatever you want. You can have it in the background. You can just, either way. But yeah, there's a playlist to the series if you want to catch up or anything, and as well as a link to the next episode when it comes out next week. So depending on when you see this, you can easily click on the next one. And apologies if my voice sounds weird and if I sneeze or cough. Stuff. Still remnants of a cold, but I should be okay enough to read a chapter today, to at least get started. Chapter 1. Grian stood beside the brewing stand in the sleepover room, leaning against the wall casually as he waited for the regeneration potions to be finished. The room was quiet, but certainly not empty, as he spotted Eliza hovering over an occupied bed not far from him, while Haley fussed with the bed sheets, smoothing them out like layers of snow. The other two interns, Josh and Luke, were also in bed, recovering from the ambush Grian's robotic look-alike had unleashed on them. They weren't badly hurt, fortunately, but seeing them resting in bed, staring up at the ceiling in boredom, made his stomach all queasy. He could also see Isaac and Caleb in bed as well, just as bored as the interns, desperate to get out of bed to do their jobs protecting their charges. "Are the potions ready yet?" Eliza asked, looking over her shoulder, giving Grian a peek at her patient. A lump formed in its throat as he saw the form of a 13-year-old girl. She looked small and frail underneath the brightly colored blankets. She still looked ghostly pale after losing so much blood 3 days ago. Grian swallowed. Had it really been 3 days since he'd been forced to watch the girl fall into Rob's trap and become another test experiment for Richard Jargon? Witness the death of both the girl's father and Richard himself? Grian? Eliza frowned, turning this time to fully face him. Grian blinked, his spiraling thoughts finally breaking water. "Oh, right, the potions," Grian said quickly, glancing over at the brewing stand. "They should be done in the next couple of minutes. Redstone dust is taking its time." "Ha! Very funny." Eliza shook her head, biting her bottom lip. The regen is actually helping, right? Kate's doing much better now than she did 3 days ago, Haley pointed out, stepping back from one of the beds. "We might be in the clear to let Liam do that task, just to see what's left." Grian winced, remembering how Kate's father, Robert Kimberly, had restrained his daughter into a cylindrical machine. The girl was connected to tubes and wires as the machine drained her of blood, spitting her DNA from the man Grian feared most. Gerald, the man who tormented all of them for over a year still. Gerald had wanted Kate to join him and let him take control, but she had refused. Now the question was, had Gerald let her go? Was he still there somehow? Was he truly gone? "I can ask him. He shouldn't be far," Eliza suggested, gesturing over to Grian. The hermit smiled weakly. Liam never strayed too far from Grian, now that he was his protector. Though the boy was determined to do everything he could to help him after Caden's sacrifice. Grian's smile faded. Had he already forgotten his former protector already? The man had sacrificed so much for him, gaining his trust that not many protectors achieved. Not when he was friends with Nettie, Stampy's sister, the very cat that Gerald despised and accused of being a traitor, creating the very mess they were in now. Go figure. Oh, Burl's life. Cool. I think he should be in the kitchen, making calls, Haley reported. It's been an hour. Surely it doesn't take that long, Grian pointed out. Or he's talking with the adults in the other room, Haley added. Right, Grian sighed. Matthias, Clara, Sean, and Kane were recovering there after the attack. Erin was also there after one of their enemies shot her with a gas blaster. She was an intern under Sam's guidance. Folsom and Sam were staying here for a few days or so until Folsom's base could be repaired. I could find him. No, you stay here, Eliza said simply, heading for the door. Give Kate a dose of regen for me, will you? I'll be back in a minute. Grian shook his head. The girl walked out of the open door, not giving him a second glance. It's been 3 days. A lot can happen in 3 days, Haley said simply. Conifer, no doubt, is up to something. It doesn't take much to notice that. Yeah, Grian agreed with a nod, snatching one of the potions from the brewing stand. He approached Kate's bedside. She looked peaceful and calm. No hint of any nightmares. No clue as to what was going on. How do you think he managed to find so many recruits? Haley shrugged. Beats me. I just don't get how an army was able to defeat False, Sam, and David all at once, Grian admitted. He had caught snippets of Sam and False's experiences in the attack before their capture, watching David and Aiden get slaughtered, not knowing what happened to Erin, assuming she was dead until they were rescued. Even Mr. Andrew didn't have as many men at its disposal. Maybe people are just tired, Haley offered, as Grian gently lifted Kate's limp head, parting her lips with the uncorked bottle before trickling the pink liquid down her throat. Tired of all this fighting. Then why are they fighting if they're tired of fighting? Grian questioned, looking up at the older teenager. Shouldn't they be going on strike or something? Haley snorted. I doubt Andrew or Richard would have let that happen. That slide. Grian chuckled, his eyes wavering to Isaac, who had been forced to join Mr. A's ranks after his parents had pulled him out of Rose's school. Later, Isaac learned that Gerald had murdered his family and friends via Mr. A's orders to ensure that no one would look for Isaac. Isaac had saved both Grian and Scar that day, which the young hermit wouldn't soon forget. Now Isaac was Beat-Up's protector after the hermit's former protector was murdered by a wayward Julius Royster. Yeah, the mouthful. The recap chapter, if you kept noticed. God, yeah, I never know when people are gonna come in. But, yeah, feel free to ask any questions if you have any. So, that's not a problem. Grian looked down at the slumbering girl beside him. Pulling back the now empty bottle. It's been 3 days, and the girl hadn't woken up. Scar and Impulse tried to reach her mentally, as they had a link with her, but had been unsuccessful. That means she was fully human again. Was she still healing? Sam and Liam are having no luck figuring that out, then, I'm guessing, Grian replied. They're certainly kept themselves busy, Haley said, crossing the room to scoop the 2 additional bottles on the brewing stand before storing them inside a chest nearby. I do appreciate the help having so many patients to attend to with just 2 hands. You have Eliza, Grian pointed out. And Julius. I do, Haley nodded, but for some reason, hanging out with you guys just makes it easier. Grian mused as footsteps came down the hall. He turned in time to see Eliza and Liam walk into the room. "How is she?" Liam asked, yawning as he followed the intern. "Stable," Haley said simply. Liam crossed the room to stand beside Grian. "And the boys?" "Bored," Josh said blandly. Liam nodded. "I think she's good for some testing." "You sure?" "Thank you," Grian asked nervously. "I need to make sure there's nothing serious going on," Liam said simply. "That they didn't inject her with something deadly." "Oh," Grian whispered. Liam pulled out a small syringe and a towel, gently pricking the girl's arm, drawing blood before pressing the towel against the wound. "Keep an eye on that," Liam stated as Grian took over towel duty. "Let me know if it heals faster than normal." "Like a healing factor?" Grian looked over his shoulder, seeing his protector walking towards the door. "Yep, I will," Grian sighed, taking a seat on the wooden chair. Even watching Impulse beat-ups doing redstone would be more interesting than this. Eliza giggled. "It won't be long. It should cap in a minute or two." Grian shook his head. "I just want to know how they're going to get along with the null." "I know you do," Haley replied, appearing on the other side of the bed. "But Liam wanted to make sure enough people had a close eye on you. You know that?" "I don't know anything useful," Grian grumbled. "You're his charge. Conover knows that. By hurting you, he'd be indirectly hurting Liam," Eliza added. "Is that what Carabel would want to do?" Grian asked. "This man was willing to kill me once he realized I was no use to him." Haley nodded solemnly, her gaze not leaving the 13-year-old girl between them. "Just don't know what he'll do. If there's still a copy of the blueprint Stephanie found, or a second machine that can create robot lookalikes. What's to say he won't send one, or multiple, to attack the base?" Grian gulped. "Is that why the Jameses are so nervous?" Haley shrugged. "I wouldn't blame them. First time was scary enough. We may know the loophole, but now so does Conover, thanks to Kate." "Oh," Grian nodded slowly. "I guess I get it. They know we're vulnerable, with the adults out of commission. Lyra is not a fighter by any means. We only have a few kids, and the hermits that aren't too badly injured. You know, and we'll do everything we can to help," Grian insisted. "It's not your fault Conover sent 2 murderous robots after you guys." "Nor was it yours," Eliza replied. "They used my DNA," Grian protested. "You unwillingly gave," Haley said with a weak smile. "You had no less of a choice than Polly Reindeer did when it was done to her." Yeah, lovely world reference. Grian bit his bottom lip and nodded, releasing the towel from Kate's arm. Sure enough, the bleeding had stopped, leaving a tiny mark where the needle had been. "It's still hard to say whether the healing factor is at play or not." Haley examined the girl's arm. "At least she's not in pain," Grian said, getting to his feet. "Yeah, she should wake up any day now," Haley replied. "If all goes well." "It will. It has to," Eliza said quickly. "She's already been through so much over the last few months. It's not fair." "It's like that, I suppose," Haley sighed, nodding over at Grian. "I think I'm good for now. You're free to explore. Just don't go too far." Grian grinned. "Oh, I won't. Don't worry." Haley shook her head, but Grian wasn't looking. He'd already bolted for the door and slipped out into the hallway. Finally, he could do something other than waiting for potions to brew or sorting supplies. Hopefully tomorrow would be better, and the boys would be off bed rest, ready to train again. And that is where we're going to lift for this week. Sorry. Stretching. Woo, that was fun. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one, whenever that may be. Yeah. Bye.